Let's go Smack Talk. We are back. We are live Wednesday, of course, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock in the East. The two guys that are bringing everything down for you. And right off the top, we've got the light heavyweight champ, Wolverine Ron Beta, is going to join us on his birthday. So, everybody in the chat, welcome Ron and say happy birthday to him once he gets on here. The champ is obviously headlining Power Slap number 18 coming up in March, March 6th. Things are coming incredibly fast. And as you know, every single opportunity that we get to talk to the champ, we need to cherish it. We obviously don't know how long he's still going to be doing this. He announced his retirement in January 2025. However, he's come back and competed a number of times since. And we'll get to the champ. We'll break it down. There's a lot of light heavyweight matches on the card itself as well. So we're going to talk to him about some of those other matches that are going to be taking place on the card specifically. Dang, it's been a pretty busy week. I know we released some interviews. Some guys are talking. My bet that Vince Tracy's going to make weight is still on the table. We're going to see what happens there. I'm getting a little bit worried about my man Vince. I'm not going to lie. Fellow Canadian, we aren't doing so good at the Olympics. And yeah, one Vince Tracy. At least Canada's going to win, and that I'd be victorious in that match. But will he make 155? I don't know. Vince got me scared.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, he's a little quiet as I anticipated. For those of you who have had a child, your first one, all bets are off. There's no planning, there's no predictions. You don't know how it's going to be. As a male, you're susceptible to the female, the mother of the children or child, and you don't know what that's going to be like. This is her first experience, from what I understand. It's his first experience. I gotta be honest, man. 2 weeks before a fight, it's not the greatest time to have a kid. Of course, having a child is a blessing. It's an incredible feat and something that many people look forward to, and it changes your life forever, and it's incredible. I'm just saying, timing for him to take a fight is not on our side. Obviously, you know, 9 months or so ago, he made a decision to get a little intimate at night. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about fighting against Dakota McGregor in Power Slap on March 6th, Power Slap 18 in Las Vegas, but he did accept the match knowing that this could potentially be a problem. So although we do expect him to be professional, I gotta be honest with you. If he came out and said, "Hey, I can't make 155," I cannot say that I would be surprised. And that's no disrespect to Vince. I just understand how pivotal and monumental that moment is, and how different things can be. And as some people say, the men get pregnant also. So I do understand, and hopefully things are well. But you kind of said it. You alluded to it. Haven't heard a whole lot from Mr. Vince Tracy since the purported birth of his child. We don't know that to be a fact. I know his wife was due on the 16th. The same for Isaiah Rodriguez. At this moment, I don't have any update for either guy. Of course, that's a very personal, intimate time between them and their wives, so we want to give them their space. But as far as I can see, nothing has formally been announced online, and I'll just confirm that and check that while we get the champion in here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, phenomenal card, top to bottom. Like I talked about off the top of the show, there's three light heavyweight matchups starting the actual main or the prelims, but starting off the live event, we're gonna have one Luke Simon versus Peter Treklik. Gonna be an incredible match. I'm really excited for this one to kind of kick off. Another match that's underrated, and we talked about it last week, but Kalani Vakmalola taking on Casey Stevens, former super heavyweight championship from SFC. Going to be a great matchup. This is going to be an absolute, slugfest. Two guys, heavy hands, two guys that, have experience. And I'm real excited for it, to be quite honest. I think those two matches, phenomenal matchmaking between those two. And then Wes Mena and Zakir. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you said we're going to have Wes on tonight's show as well, which I
That's
forgot to
correct.
say
Yeah.
off the top of the
Towards
show.
the
So,
second half, 9:30, 9:40 ish of
yeah.
the Eastern time.
We'll get in there. I mean, see, controversy seems to follow Wes wherever he goes. I mean, Wes drops a comment in our chat and things start to swirl, in a lot of ways. And, and outside of the sport, in business, if people are talking about you, it can be seen as a good thing. People view you as a threat. And so maybe one Westman is doing all the right things to stay in the mouths of other people and live in other people's heads. And I mean, he's getting booked for fights and opportunities. And we're going to see where West is at and where his mind frame is. And obviously, both these athletes have had kind of ups and downs in their power slap careers. Both of them had to adjust their slaps accordingly, with different rule changes that took place. And so we're going to see where both these athletes collide come actually the start of the main card on March 6th. So pretty excited about that. You gonna bring the champ in now?
Yeah, man, it's his birthday. He's kind enough to join us. Let's not keep him waiting. He is none other than the light heavyweight reigning defending light heavyweight champion, former heavyweight champion, highly regarded as the greatest of all time. He is Wolverine. Ron Beta. Is he there? He
So,
is.
sorry, man. I'll let you
No,
do
you're good,
the
brother.
blessing. That okay?
Thank you. How's it going,
Uh
bud?
oh. Uh oh. Did you get pulled over?
No, no, they were just, I had to come up the road because I don't get no service at the house. So they were coming to check on me.
Wow. So you living in the you're in hiding outside of your power slap endeavors, huh?
Yeah.
You got to drive out of your house to go chat with somebody on video. Happy birthday. How old are we? What? 21,
Thank you.
25? What are we doing today? 34,
Oh, shit. I wish. We're 35.
35. Okay. So you're getting there. So you can now run for president. Congratulations. I don't know if you'd like to do that, but you are now eligible to. Big milestone. Another he's like, "No, I'm good. I'll pass." But especially appreciate the time always, but definitely on your birthday. What you do today? Anything you can share with us? Anything cool? Anything special?
Nope. I just sat around. I didn't work out or nothing today. I just sat around. The wife made me a dinner tonight, and then they're at home making cake right now. So, nope, nothing crazy.
All right, so I do have to ask, since you said the wife made me dinner, is that any different from any other day? Like, does she make you dinner? Or are you the chef and we just didn't know it?
We share the responsibility, but no, she wanted to make sure she did it today, and we cooked what I wanted, so we had a little bit of pasta and had some lamb and stuff like that. So
Hey, well, hey, sounds good. Well, again, happy birthday! Very exciting stuff. Um, Man, it
thank you.
is. This is an unusual lead up to a fight for you, Ron. I mean, you're always very well respected. It's weird though. You've become like this, almost like this, uh, almost like an idol, like a figurative idol in the sense that you're kind of above all of this stuff that's going on with guys that are kind of nipping at your heels, but for whatever reason, you are not the target at all. Like they're all going after each other. Even the guy fighting you is not really focused on you. He seems to be focused on somebody in the co-main event. Like I think you wanted to talk about it the last time, but we had trouble with the service. I mean, these guys are just going at it. It's Allen, Logan, crazy Logan. Crazy Allen is a little weird, but not quite as vicious. What do you make of all this chaos now that the Crazy Hawaiian is in the light heavyweight division?
And I mean, I can't say it's all bad because I mean, light heavyweight. I mean, been kind of there wasn't a whole lot of back talk and bad talking towards one another, stuff like that. So I mean, I like that they're all doing that. I watched that whole interview with you, even though I didn't have good service. But I mean, like Logan said he had nothing bad to say about me, respected me. I mean, Crazy Wine, you know, said I was respected. He just called me boring, but in a sense I'd agree with him. I mean, I don't really do this too often, and I just get up there, go, you know, do the match and then go home. So, but I like that they're bringing a bunch of energy, especially all the top, one, two, three, places in the light heavyweight division. So makes it interesting and it makes the bottom guys, see that, all right, maybe I need to get in on that too. And so, I mean, it makes it interesting.
Were you as surprised as us in sort of, I'll call it the heel turn of Logan Greenhall? I mean, he was a pretty respectful, quiet guy. Obviously, had competed before at heavyweight twice, then comes down to light heavy against Cody. Takes care of business on the undercard. Again, still very quiet, traditional. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. And he, well, I do. I kind of know what happened, right? I can only say the wrench in the mix, the dice that's been rolled since this change was the knockout of Russell Rivero, who's arguably the scariest looking guy in the light heavyweight division. I think Obviously, we've seen him on his back, unconscious, a few times now. So maybe not actually the scariest to some guys, but he does physically appear to be the scariest guy. Um, to go up there from Cody Young being your first match at light heavyweight, then go up against Russell Rivero and clean his clock that way, don't even have to get hit. I could understand why that boosts your confidence, especially at the young age of 24. However, I mean, he's becoming the biggest villain, and to me, it kind of is reminiscent of Austin Turpin in some way. Of course, again, like I said, you're not the target. But does this surprise you from him specifically?
Uh, no, I mean, he feels like, he earned that shot. I mean, I mean, it's just like anybody else. I mean, you work hard to get to something and then just to have it taken away. I mean, I imagine you are pissed off. I mean, and at least this way, if he's starting to, talk bad to people, I mean, that's getting him news, that's getting him attention, that's getting him looked at. So, I mean, I kind of like it in his aspect. I mean, and he's a young guy, so he'll be around for a while. Um, and as you said, the important thing is it's not at me, so I love that. So, you know, I mean, I enjoyed watching, him and Allen going at it, and him and the Crazy Wine going at it. Um, I think, all three of them, back talking to each other. I think that makes this event even more special, especially being, pretty much a number one contender match for co-main event, and then so it'll be pretty much winner versus winner, and almost, a loser versus loser kind of situation.
I think there's a slight caveat to that, and I'm curious your thoughts. I mean, obviously, you've been the longest reigning champion in that division, of course. Took it from AJ, and you haven't lost it really. I think Allen was obviously it was a close one, but you did what champions do, and you made sure that sort of staked your claim. Should March 6th not go your way for whatever reason, through whatever manner, you know, you don't think that you have kind of a claim to get your lick back first, like despite what happens in the co-main event, like is that not the scenario that makes the most sense? Should you lose your belt for whatever reason come that night?
Man, I mean, I've seen it play both ways. I personally think, depending on how the match goes, I think I should. But I mean, we've seen it with John Davis. You know, he lost and never been heard from again. Well, never been seen again, not heard from, obviously. But but then you've seen it with like Turpin, where he loses that number one contender and automatically gets the rematch. So I mean, we've seen it both ways. I think I should get a rematch, especially depending on how it goes. Now, obviously, I get knocked out in round one. No, I don't think I deserve a rematch. But if it goes the distance, goes all 5 rounds, and the judges, score me a little under, yeah, I'd love a rematch. But I mean, it really going to be just dependent on them, honestly.
Now, it's gonna be a tough question to answer, but because of the way you just answered that question, I'd kind of be wrong if I didn't ask. Is there any scenario where March 6th is the last time we see you compete?
I don't think so. Honestly, I mean, I respect the hell out of Crazy Hawaiian. I mean, we started the same night. I've mentioned that before. I enjoy watching him. I enjoy everything he does for the sport, but I ain't losing. So no, March 6th won't be the last time.
Man, I love that energy. And last one before I turn it over. As entertaining as it is there any part of you that feels like the Crazy Hawaiian is making a mistake by focusing on Logan? It seems like Logan Greenhall specifically, Alan Klingbeil maybe a little bit, but really Logan Greenhall, those guys seem to have a real problem. Do you feel like there's a possibility that he's kind of overlooking you, even if it's not intentional, just because of how much attention he's paying to Logan, and then obviously saying that he wants that fight. So now he's invested in somebody else when he has, the toughest challenge in front of him that he's going to face at light heavyweight, in this era of the division.
Man, I'd be lying. I mean, I prefer that, honestly. I mean, I enjoy being the underdog. I enjoy being overlooked. So that way, he don't know what's coming come March 6th. But I mean, I know Crazy Wine. He's pretty respectful with me. I know he ain't overlooking me. I know he's just got his own thing going with somebody that'll chat back at him. I mean, he knows I'm not that way, so he hasn't really been that way with me. So, but no, I mean, if he can take his whole mind off of me, that'd be awesome.
Awesome, Wolverine. First off, champ, happy birthday and everything. Excited to see you again.
Thank you.
In that title. In a lot of ways. I mean, you talked about the crazy wine. You guys started the same night. Would almost be symbolic. I know you don't want to retire, but imagine you guys both walked off in the sunset at the same time. But do you think, in all honesty, it's a little bit too much too fast? Like, what's your real feeling? Because obviously you're game planning. I'm sure you've watched tape. There's got to be some question around some of the training that you're seeing, some of the AI photos I'm sure that everybody's seen at this point. You know, do you think the talk is backing it up? Like, how are you breaking down and how are you preparing?
He's a tough guy, and I mean, I don't, I mean, when he sits there and says he doesn't do nothing or he sits around, I know better than that. That dude is busy all the time, whether he's training or prepping for a match or you know, he's always got something to do with slap fighting, in a sense. So, um, I mean, I'm not really focused on the AI photos. Honestly, when I watched y'all's last show, I actually had to go look, to see what he was. I don't really get on Instagram or nothing, so
Yeah,
I'm focused on this one. I know he's a tough guy. I know he's gonna hit hard. So I've just been focusing on this matchup. I know this is a huge matchup. You got two big names in slap fighting, either pre power slap or, with power slap. So this is an important match for me.
for sure. It's an important match. You know, the first time that I seen you compete, Power Slap number one, I still think it's the greatest moment up until this point in Power Slap. The storyline, you beating Darius, you lost to him twice previously in SFC. You come, in that monumental moment. And you've been a guy that, I could probably count at least four times, maybe five times where you've reinvented yourself, where you've strategized differently, where people thought you'd come out with something and you've had to evolve. You're on a three-fight win streak right now with victories over Vernon Cathy, Russell Rivero, and Alan Klingbeil. I mean, you won three different ways the last three matches. Talk to me about the evolution and continually evolving. I mean, you're 35 years old, so you're not a spring chicken anymore, but you are finding ways to win differently every time you're up there. Talk to me about how important that is. Is that planned or is that just kind of how it ends up being?
Man, that's just I guess how it ends up being. I guess I'm just lucky. I wish I could get that lucky on them scratchers and stuff, but I I didn't plan on winning that way against Russell. I mean,
Mhm.
I wasn't even there for most of the night afterwards. So I mean, that was a bad win for me. But I can't help the other competitor. Um, with Allen, I mean, obviously, I did not want to win that way. I definitely didn't want to win where it was a split decision. Unanimous would have been better. But um, I thought I would have Allen. There's a few calls that I didn't like, but I thought I'd have Allen the same way as I had Vern. Um, so I mean, it's just been by luck pretty much so far with the different things, and I mean when it comes to the crazy wine, I mean I get to look for. I've never faced nobody taller than me so far. Everybody's either been shorter than me or Allen's right about the same height. So having to go up at an angle, it's something I've just now been practicing on. So it's going to be a little different for me.
For sure. I mean, in sports, they say you have to be good to get lucky, and you've put yourself in that position now a number of times when you defend the title. Damon Dibbell always says you only need one slap in power slap, and that's the slap that knocks somebody out. Do you believe in that mentality?
Absolutely. But I am not the Bill, so I can't rely on that sheer power to knock somebody out in one swing every time.
Does the
So I like the other mentality. Huh?
I was gonna say, is the dip part of the jaw training regimen or what?
No, that's just I like it. um, I like that mentality from the Bell, but the Bell's got power that it's different for Power Slap. I mean, I can't even think of anybody else like him. Um, Not even a super heavyweight. So, but for my mentality, it's just go up there, just keep pushing. I mean,
Yeah.
if they rattle you a bit, just keep going. Just keep pushing through.
Let's go back on memory lane. You're victorious. I want to say it was over AJ Hinz. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you come to the opposite side with the general public, and you crack open the tin of chew, and you put it in your mouth up there on stage, and it took all of 3 seconds for the commission to jump on you. Do you remember what event that was?
I think that was the one.
Was it AJ or was it
I thought it
Hinz?
was the one. It might have been AJ. It might have been. If not, it was the first one with Turpin.
Okay.
But it was one of those two matches. But yeah, they were pissed off. They
Yeah.
were. I heard about it right then, and as soon as we got in the back, and yeah, they didn't like that.
Yeah, and little deep dive. I'm pretty sure one Big Jeeves still has that signed tin from you somewhere. It's up in Canada.
Oh yeah.
I remember you signing him
I'm
the
about to
tin.
say, I know we still got the
Yeah.
yeah, we still got that Canadian dollar, or maybe it was a $5 that he gave me. I
Yeah.
still got it at home that same night. So
Amazing. So he bought it off you said.
pretty much, yeah.
That's awesome. The crazy Hawaiian, like you said, been caught, or we were talking earlier, kind of been getting caught up in some of this kind of hoopla. Obviously, there's good and there's bad for it. Veteran. So I think a lot of that is smoke and mirrors in regards to his preparation that he's doing for this match. I don't have the total up of how many matches he's fought in slap fighting, but I'm sure he's up there with you in regards to the total count. Do you think there's anything that could surprise you come March 6th?
No. I mean, I guess he could switch hands to go left-handed. I mean, that would surprise. I mean, I've seen him do it once before, but no, because I mean, I've watched every one of his matches. I mean, I respect him. I like watching him. I think he does a great thing for this sport. So, I don't think there's anything that's going to surprise me. I mean, he's already lost all this weight, which is, and I even told him, when we were out there in Vegas, that was great on his part. It was great for him, physically. Um, so, for him to be down here in light heavyweight, that was the initial shock. I thought he was going to make a pit stop at heavyweight. So, um, after that, no, I don't think I'll be shocked from him. I'll be excited to actually share the stage with him finally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be definitely two legends going off each other. Obviously, that's how they're branding it. I know you just talked about being there in Las Vegas with him for that promo shoot. Seeing him in person, like, what was your first impression? Like, actually seeing the physical stature of him in person versus being on video.
I mean, damn, that's he looks awesome. I mean, he's at a great weight for himself. He's carrying himself good. He's walking around good. He's he's training good now. I mean, it's awesome to see what came out of this for him, and the potential he has, and I can't wait to see what March 6th brings for us. I mean, I'm excited. You know, I don't see him doing his waist wind up, now that he's not 400 pounds. So I know he's going to have a new wind up and everything to go with it, with his new weight and new stature now. So I mean, I'm excited for this match. It's it's something that can't get here soon enough. Well,
Yeah.
I got a few pounds to go still, so it needs to still wait a minute. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
I'm sure not you or I can really talk about this. Maybe Wes Minna can, because obviously he's lost a lot of weight in the past too. But I'm curious to see if he's going to have any issues with stepping and the momentum, not having that extra weight and drag on his slap. I think that'll be one of the interesting things to see in round one for sure. I mean, if there is round one, obviously you're
Oh
saying,
yeah, I'm interested in that too. I mean, I think his power will still be there, just because I mean he's always been a strong guy. But yeah, I'm curious about the about the foot because I mean that's why I like wearing boots. They're heavy. They weigh me down. I mean somebody like the Crazy Wine's probably used to 400 pounds. Holding his feet down. Now that he's half that size, I mean that's why I said it's going to be a whole new wind up. It's going to be a whole new Crazy Wine. I mean out there. So I mean I can't wait to one as a fan to see what he's bringing, but two as a competitor just because we're going to be sharing the stage. So. I mean, there's excitement for me in this matchup.
absolutely. Um, I guess you haven't seen Peter. Obviously Peter and Luke are starting off the main card. You haven't met him in person, have you? You
No, I've seen them before.
okay, gotcha. What do you think of that match? I mean, you've probably seen his fight that he had with Gurdeep Singh. What do you think of his prospect in the division?
I think it's I mean, I think it'll be good. Honestly, I mean, I like everything. I like everything about them bringing in because I believe he's from overseas, and I like the fact that they're bringing in all the people from overseas. I mean, yeah, you can get prospects and great power slap athletes from the U.S., but you can't call it a world championship till you got all the other countries bringing their best into it. So I mean, I'm excited to see him up there, see what he does. I mean, even like that the Singh guy, from Abu Dhabi. I mean, he was a great addition. I mean, I'm enjoying all the prospects that they're bringing in from other countries.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing a great job for sure. One question, not slap related, but how do you fight a guy named Lance Lee like 5 times in MMA? How does that even happen?
Because JT was the promoter for y'all must have either messaged him or somebody said something to y'all about this guy because this is a touchy subject.
I didn't know, man. I didn't.
Um, he
Feel free to
he would
defer.
message Jake.
It's your birthday, man. If you want to defer, that's totally cool. He. I can tell you, he saw the name 5 times, and that's why he's asking. There's no secret to it. There's no like back door, nothing. I promise.
So well, no, you're good then. Yeah, I mean JT was the promoter for the MMA company, that I was fighting for, and I know he would always tell JT, "Oh, I want to fight Ron," because we both like stand up. I hated wrestling. I don't have cardio, never have. I don't ever intend on it. So, and he didn't either. So we always stood up and we just, swap hands back and forth. That's why I like, power slap and stuff because I can just swap hands back and forth. Um, and so he'd ask them all the time, and they would just give them to me just because we'd put on, a good stand-up show real quick. I mean, it'd usually go a couple rounds. Um, I ended up winning 3-2 out of them 5 ones. Should have won the fourth one, but one of them got stopped 3 seconds early. But so I don't consider that I still lost that one. So we had a record of 3-2.
Gotcha. Yeah, and honestly, I have no idea who the guy is. Don't know what he looks like. I just looking at your record and see the name 5 times, and I've never seen that look at anybody's record in my life. So
That's
yeah.
that's my wife's kids is dead.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Okay. All right. All right. Wait a second. Hold on. What?
I'm the
And
last
that's
one to
and
the
that's
basketball
touchy.
now.
So you beat your wife's kid's dad, and that's touchy. That's perfect. That's amazing.
Well,
And theoretically, you got paid to do it. Ron, what are we talking about? That's touchy. That's amazing.
well, because he likes to drag. I mean, he's made comments even on y'all's page, and I've talked to y'all about taking him down and stuff because he's always trying to badmouth me or badmouth Sarah, and so I just try to leave that subject alone and in the past, and but yeah, it was 5 times with the same opponent just because he had always asked for it, and I don't turn it down. Hell, I mean, if I know a guy's willing to stand up with me, okay, I'll take that one.
Well, buddy, you won the record and you won the girl, man. So you're making out pretty. Awesome, buddy. I appreciate.
Oh,
Like I said, happy birthday from everybody here at Slap News, and it's an absolute honor every time we get to see you perform. So I appreciate you.
I
No,
appreciate it, bud.
we gotta
I
end.
look
We
forward
gotta
to
end
seeing
on a
y'all.
positive. We gotta end on a positive note. We can't end like that. There's just no way. I have to come up with another question. There's just no chance. So Ron, I'm curious. You've now competed in a lot of different places. Um, for us as spectators, the overseas events don't seem to transition as well to the viewers on the North American side because of the time of day. I think like the hype just doesn't seem the same. For you on the ground as an athlete experiencing fight week and the venue, the local population, what are your thoughts? Like, are the North American events bigger? Whether I mean, you've only competed, I think, in North America for Power Slap in Vegas, but Abu Dhabi you've done now, Saudi you did last year, early in the year. Like, what did you feel? What aspects of it were bigger, smaller? In your opinion, comparing the different crowds.
Man, the crowds overseas. I mean, they were awesome. I mean, they really were. But I'd be lying. I mean, the crowds here are awesome, and walking around out here, like especially in Vegas, I mean, we get recognized a bunch. So I mean, I like the Vegas aspect that, and I've been to Vegas so much now with Power Slap that it's like my home away from home. So I love the American events, the out of country events. Yeah, I mean, like when my family's trying, like my kid, likes to watch my events, which they're going to go to this one, but before they just watched it on TV whenever I mean, it comes on at like 11 a.m. over here. I mean, they have school on Friday, so it was tough for him to watch it. I mean, luckily there's a teacher that the fan also that him and my boy were watching it in class. So I mean, it was but it's still the fact that I think it being on at like 11 a.m. here when we're doing it at nighttime over there really throws a wrench in the spectator part trying to watch it here. I mean, I you don't really wake up to watch a sporting event at 11 a.m. I mean, usually it's come nighttime. You're ready to drink a little, have dinner, have snacks, stuff like that.
For sure. I wanted to add one thing. I thought in Abu Dhabi, I wish they would adapt this over here in North America. But you would count, but the crowd would count with your strike. So if you were right on three, the crowd would be one, two, three. And it was all night. They were just counting the strike and then cheering afterwards. I thought that was super cool and kind of like that European
Yeah,
soccer.
I love that. That's why I said. I mean, that crowd over there was, you know, it's awesome. I mean, I can't say nothing bad about it. I mean, I love the venues. They wrap it. They have like the main event and the co-main events faces all around the building outside. I mean, it looks like they put a lot of work into it and they really like it over there. I just, as a personal standpoint, I mean, I like just walking outside. You know, I don't really need to be recognized, but I mean, I do get recognized in Vegas. And I like the fact that it's home. I can go back home. I don't have a 15-hour flight to look forward to and stuff like that.
Well, it is your birthday, so I'm gonna put you on the hot seat before we let you go. Have some cake. Enjoy your time with your family again. Really appreciate. There's people in the chat saying happy birthday to you as well. If you do decide you want to
Thank you.
run for president again, you are eligible to, and I would support you. But I hear you about Peter and the over international talent and all that is great. But who's winning that fight? I mean, come on, Ron. Who's gonna win, Luke or Peter?
Uh, Man, it's a tough matchup. I'd love to see Luke pull his stuff together. I know that that loss from Allen really set him back, and then he had the personal issues with Seekman. So I'd like to see Luke pull it together, but at the same time, I mean, that dude looks like he's a monster coming in. So I think that's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, I can't really. I hate picking sides. I hate picking winners, but yeah, I mean, that's gonna the whole light heavyweight division. It seems, or at least the top half, have a good match on this card.
Yeah, so the other match that's on this card that you may be more apt to having an opinion on is the co-main event. Logan Greenhall, Alan Klingbeil. Obviously, you know Alan very well at this point. Logan, haven't seen a ton from, but we saw what he just did to Russell Rivero. What are we thinking? If you don't want to pick, that's fine. But just give me, what does each guy got going for him? What are the challenges? What do you think?
Man, I think Allen's consistent. He hits good, but Logan, and nothing against Allen. I like both the guys. Logan looks like he hits harder, and he's left-handed at that. I mean, my left side of my face is not every match I've ever been in has been right side. So the left side of my face is not conditioned at all for that. So I think that'll throw a wrench into Allen as well because I mean I think conditioning goes into plays a big part into it. And if you've never been smacked on that side of your face, I mean like I know I haven't. I mean that I would be working on that quick. Um, I can't pick a winner. I won't do that. I like both them guys. I'm looking forward to whoever wins that matchup. Um, I'd love to see Logan in an aspect because it'd be something new. I know he's tough and he's young. He's hungry for it. So I mean, that'd be a great matchup for me to go against. But obviously, I'd love the Allen matchup as well, just because I want that rematch. I want to finish him this time. I don't want it to go to judge's decision. So yeah, I mean, I'm for whoever wins that matchup.
Every time I'm like I'm gonna let him go, then I think of one more. This one should be actually quick though. I promise I'll leave you alone after this. You've been open and honest
You're
about
good, bud.
2, 3 more fights max at this point, right? With this fight coming up, theoretically, you'd be reducing one just to fight your contract out. The last time you retired, it was Vern, and Vern's great, of course. But then you kind of have a picture perfect night. You return. Is there a person like if you know that the day's gonna come? Is there a person that you're like, man, I would really love to go up against this person to call it a career? Whether that's some I don't know, like a weird. I mean, you've already kind of taken care of the Darius thing, but I'm just using that as an example, like something meaningful to you, somebody that you're like, I have a lot of respect for this person. I'd love to share the stage with them, even if it's at a weird weight, just so that you're able to sort of scratch that itch before you kind of sail off into the sunset.
I mean, I'd lose. There ain't no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not somebody that's gonna sit here and hype myself up. I'm a win. I'm a win. But honestly, I mean, I wouldn't mind another crack at the bell. I mean, he seems like he's only gotten stronger and better since I went against him. So I want to see. I want to see what that stronger and better looks like. Um, I mean, it wouldn't be for the belt. It wouldn't be for my belt because obviously they'd know ahead of time that was the last matchup. But you know, oh, I'd like to see myself go 5 more rounds with him.
Well, there you go. Frank's not watching this, but we'll put it on social media and make sure he sees the champs' dream matchup to call it a career. Hopefully later in 2026. Damien Dibbell, if you are watching, got to cut a little weight, my man. We got to get you a little closer to Ron. That way, it's not unfair.
Oh hell no, hell no! I can eat now, so he needs to stay where he's at, and I
Okay.
can finally enjoy eating.
All right, fair enough. So maybe the farewell matches at heavyweight, and the Wolverine can go back with a full belly and enjoy the rest of his life. Well, again, thank you so much for the time. It's your birthday. Enjoy. Hopefully, the cake is very good. We look forward to seeing you in just about 2 weeks in Las Vegas. Of course, hopefully, you're getting harassed and stuff at the hotel and throughout the streets as everybody sees you because you do have quite a recognizable face. Although maybe you may not think so, you do. And again, really appreciate the time. Always a pleasure. And hopefully, we'll see if we can get that legend versus legend thing in the history books March 6th, and still if things go your way.
I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
The champion, Ron Wolverine Beta, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Always good to talk to him, man. Not something we get very often, but some weird stuff happened in the division. So definitely a good chat always. And he's he's one of those guys that every time I talk to him, you more than I. Of course, you guys communicate a little more than he and I do. But we did his post fight for Abu Dhabi after Allen, and it's like every time he answers, I don't know that he thinks this way or he's doing it on purpose, but he'll say something that I'm like, oh, actually, I got a question about that. So I could have asked him a lot more questions, to be honest. Some of them are kind of pointless questions, like what do you think the odds will be? Right, the odds are going to be what they're going to be. I'll say it here though, and Henry, if you're around or if you're watching this on the playback, drop a comment. I am actually curious who or what the odds would be in this match. I think I would tend to favor Wolverine, um, but I'm not gonna allow the hate that the Crazy Hawaiian's getting from kind of the inner circle to cloud my judgment when it comes to the odds side because the matchmakers, or excuse me, the odds makers are not involved in that process. They look at who's more likely to win based on the attributes of the athlete. So I would try my best to do the same, and I would say I'd probably get Ron 1.75 to 2 to 1 odds. So either minus 170, like somewhere between minus 170, minus 200 is what I would say he'd open at. Um, of course, I don't know that to be a fact. I could be completely wrong. Crazy Wine could end up being the favorite, which would actually blow my mind. But what do you think actually before we bring Wes in?
I think it opens up at. I think it opens up closer. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a minus 110, 130. Or sorry, minus 110 plus 130 or minus 120 plus 120. I could see it be pretty close to be honest. Because what we've seen in the past, they've always favored, you know, the champ. They've also favored, the bigger guy, the heavier weight. I think there's going to be some recency bias in terms of the name recognition of the Crazy Hawaiian. And I believe it's going to be fairly close. And if it's not, maybe it does start where you are and it ends up closer to where I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be money on both sides on this one, to be completely honest with you, because I think there's going to be people that are going to believe in both parties. And I think that's what makes this one of those, legendary matches that could take place. Very similar to Power Stop number one. I mean, let's be real. Like Darius and Ron both had money on each side of that line as well. So I could see something very similar.
Yeah, I will say, and I think unequivocally, most people would agree, Power Stop's one of the best sports to bet on because no matter what the odds are, I mean, you don't generally see like a crazy. I think Stevie versus Turpin was probably one of the crazier lines. But you don't really see big lines in Power Slap because anything can happen. But you might get yourself a minus 250 to minus 300, or excuse me, opposite, plus 250, plus 200, whether that's 2.5 to 1 odds or three to 1 dog that might actually win. So, like in the case of Alan Klingbeil, I believe Alan was a dog because he had lost already. And so I don't think he was a massive dog, but he was a dog. And it was probably the biggest. He was probably the biggest. As I see here right now, Henry will correct me eloquently if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that was the biggest upset of the year by the odds. Blackburn Cole is one that maybe looks like it might have that kind of a feel. Trying to think what else.
I agree with
Logan Russell
you. Yeah.
might have also. But anyway, nevertheless, next up, closing the show with us tonight, he is also competing March 6th in his. Let me do this off the top of my head. Third match since July, Power Slap 14 in New Orleans when he faced Damian Dibbell, the heavyweight champion. He then went on to face. Why am I blanking here? He went on to face Darius the Destroyer on Power Slap 16. in October, and now he's facing at Power Stop 18 Zakir Namanbayev. A lot of stuff on social media about Zakir. We'll talk to Wes about all that and more. Is he here? He is the boom, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. I apologize, my man. We kept you waiting, but you are a scholar and a gentleman. And you waited for us, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining on short notice. That is my fault. I apologize, but I wanted to get your thoughts, man, because uh, it seems like there's a lot being made about the weird stuff that Zakir does that have nothing to do with slap. And I saw a few comments from you. I won't misquote them, but it seemed like you were like, and you'll have an opportunity to say what you think. But
Hmm.
how did that make you feel? Like you see this post on Power Stop official social media, and it's about Zakir's insane activities that have nothing to do with slap. I mean, what kind of feelings did that give you?
Honestly, it has nothing to do with slap. I mean, honestly, it wasn't even impressive to me. I mean, when I think of something that's gonna be impressive, it's something with, just good form, something that, I not only I can't do, but it's just something that the public can't do. I feel like there's some guys even on the roster can do some of the stuff that he does. Like I can see Nate doing that stuff probably better than him, you know. And then, mind you, getting ran over by cars, or getting all that stuff is it's silly, to be honest. And I just sit back and I laugh at it, and it's just like it has nothing to do with slap, because you could do all the lifting you want, but that's not going to save you from getting a slap to the face. And it's just like it's just not impressive. And I think, honestly, I think it's just stupid. If you're gonna do some of that stuff, at least do it with some good form. You know, you're damn near hurting yourself doing all that crazy stuff. So it's just I sit back and I just laugh, and I just see that. I know, why is Power Stop even promoting that? I see that he does get viewers, he does have a big following, all that good stuff. He does have a whole country behind him, essentially. um and that's cool. I mean, honestly, I'm cool with that, because when I knock him out, it's just like, okay, they gonna know who West Mena is over there. So you know that's what I feel.
You don't strike me as this type of guy, but
Hmm.
maybe you might be motivated to retaliate or to respond in some way with your own freakish, insane videos. Like, has that crossed your mind where you're like, you know what, maybe I'll make a dumb video about doing something that I probably have no business doing, but just to ruffle some feathers, or I mean, I think the story behind it, right? Obviously, it being a response, even though you don't have to frame it that way, everybody will kind of know. Have you given any thought to, like, yeah, maybe I'll go do something crazy that's a little outlandish?
Uh, no, not really, bro. Honestly, that's if you talked to me maybe about what 2.5 years ago when I was damn near 400 pounds, I could probably do that most of the stuff he's doing, but probably better, But being that I'm not that size anymore, I don't have anybody to prove to. I'm not there to prove to the masses that I can do stupid things like he's doing. I'm good on that, bro. To be honest.
Have you guys, obviously he doesn't speak English,
Mhm.
uh but translation and all that stuff, has he reached out, commented on anything? Have you guys had any kind of an engagement on social media that you can see?
Yeah, we talked on social media. It's just very respectful, because I met him in New Orleans, and he was there. I forgot who it was. It was like me, Nate, and I think maybe Cooper was around us, and we were just all laughing and just giggling around. And New Orleans, they had that Fremont Street or whatever it was, that street, and there was like all these little hookers and girls walking around, and Zakir would happen to be so with us, and we were just trying to, hey, pretty girl right there, go talk to her. We were just egging them on, and but Zakir, he's a funny guy, man. The interactions I had with him were all funny. We were just messing around with him, trying to give him that American feel. And yeah, he was like, yeah, America's different. America's different. Yeah, so. But other than that, it's been very respectful. Zakir, he's a good guy, man. I have nothing bad to say about him, other than the foolish things that I see on social media that he does. But other than that, it's all good.
Now you have one of the most impressive strength of schedule. Excuse me.
Hmm.
Come March 6th, you will have competed four times in a calendar year. It will be just under 365 days, something like 363. Um, Zakir's pretty close. He's not that
Yeah.
far behind you. He's at three at the very least. No, you know what? I'm talking out of my ass. Zakir's actually had more matches in a shorter period of time because he did 13, 14, 17, and
Yeah,
now
it
he's
was
doing
something like
18.
that.
So he did June, July, October, and now he's doing March.
Yeah.
Does that matter to you in the sense that he has more experience in a shorter time frame? Even well, it's the same amount of experience. It's just it's in more succession.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, that I'm just glad he's getting that experience because when you get on that stage, you can practice all you want, but until you get on that stage, it's a different feel. So I commend him. I'm glad he's getting all those fights under his belt. The more experience, the better. So he can work on his striking, and because what bugs me is that when there's new guys in the sport. Obviously, we can just assume that they're gonna club, step, foul, all that good stuff, and it's just like the more experience you get, the better. So I'm kind of glad that he's getting that experience. So we can put on a good professional match. Come March 6th. So I commend him, and it just shows me the resilience that he has, that he wants to compete and be successful. And more props to him.
Now, I said previously on the show that I thought the coin toss mattered most in this match.
Mm.
Not in the sense that the coin toss winner is the winner, but just that it was important for whoever got the opportunity to start the fight with the momentum. Now, I don't expect you to sit here and say, "Yeah, you know what, Ding, you're absolutely right. I think I'm fucked now because he won the coin toss." All I'm asking is there was it for you, was it kind of like like I would have liked to win the coin toss because I do think the momentum from that, or are you like, you know what, I actually like this better, like you one of those guys that's like, fuck it, hit me first, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, when I go into every match that they give me, bro, honestly, I'm just to the mindset, like I said before. If I win, great. If I don't, great. Because I'm going in with that mentality that, hey, I don't want that coin toss to make or break me. So always going in the mindset that I'm always losing the coin toss. You know, I actually prefer now, now that I have the experience under my belt, I prefer to get hit first because it's like it's gonna awaken me up. And hopefully he comes with a clean strike, man. And it's the nature of the beast. It's part of the sport. You win the coin toss, and you might lose the coin toss. Everybody's been dealt with that. So, it doesn't matter to this point. Obviously, he won the coin toss, and I just hope he comes with a clean strike, bro.
Awesome, Corey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on quite a roll here. I don't know if you've seen it earlier on with Wolverine. Apparently, I called out his baby mama's dad's whatever fighting 5 times. But
Oh
you
Lord.
know, besides that, I mean, I'll see if I can one up it this time with US. But
All right.
you and I mean, I don't know anything personally about you, so I can't attack you in that way. But what in the NFL, which I know you're a fan of, obviously, and
Yeah.
you work closely with some of the players there.
Yeah.
The Chiefs and the Patriots, they say, Roger Goodell, the friendly rules of the reffing. Could this be the Frank Lamasella Bowl? Two guys fighting 4 times each in a calendar year. Do you have that Frank Lamasella privilege or what?
I wouldn't say all that, bro.
I'm
I
saying it
mean,
for you. Come on.
it's a privilege to fight all that those many times, bro. I mean, like again, it's the experience is what matters. I love, I love them paychecks. Keep bringing them in, you know. It's just something that I bring to the table. I bring other things to the table, so that's why they've been putting me on with these all these different matches. I bring marketability, I bring viewership, I bring all that stuff to the table, and they like it. I like bringing in guys that have a big following. So hey, I want to grow the sport. I want it here for the long term. I'm looking at the overall big picture, and they see value in me. So that's why they been giving me these matches, and I'm very grateful of it. So it's just, I just take it one day at a time, and just try to, do my part outside of the ring. Outside of the ring, I just try to do my part when I'm not competing, and then I just try to grow the sport, and they like that. So that's why I'm able to maybe get all those matches. Who knows? I'm just assuming, So yeah, man.
For sure. The funny thing was Zakir, he may not speak English, but
Yeah.
understands everything you say. The guy's
So
not stupid for sure. So,
yeah, yeah. So when we was in New Orleans, yeah, we were just messing around with him, bro, and just
yeah.
I could tell that he knows what you're saying. It's just obviously he can't articulate it,
Mhm.
and he's just you can see the expressions on his face and stuff like that. But yeah, man, Zakir is he's a funny cat, man.
Mhm. Game plan wise, I know we interviewed you before. The
Yeah.
interview's up there on Slap News right now. Anything changed since the last time we spoke to you?
Uh, Other than, I mean, I just, I've been watching his match, his matches, his previous matches, and nothing's really changed, bro. Without giving too much away, I just been focused more so on myself because I want to have a flawless match. I went into this match with, with Darius before. And I freaking missed his head, bro. So I just coming with all that power. I want to be able to have controlled power. I want to be able to, hit the target, so to speak. So, I just been working on that, bro. Just been working on, my targets and training at American Top Team in Sandy Springs. We have a specific training just for me. You have one side of the gym where you have all these MMA fighters and some guys competing for Dana White's Contender Series and all that good stuff. And then you have me on the other side. Everybody's like looking. They hear the mat of me smacking the heavy bag, and they're like, oh shit, like. And then and I educate those guys. This is power stop. It's a different beast. And it's just I just spreading awareness of the sport and just educating everybody. But yeah, I have a certain game plan that I'm going in with Zakir, and I'm going to execute it, and you will see that March 6th.
Mhm. I mean, I think this has to be one that you're planning for 3 rounds. Am I right?
Yeah, if I can get him out there sooner, then great. I'm planning like at least a second round knockout. He does one thing I like about Zakir. He has a big ass watermelon head. So I feel like I shouldn't be able to miss his head, but you never know. Some guys get up there and they could be very sweaty, and I might hit them. And they might slip off. It could be so many different things going on, bro. So I just gotta make sure I stay grounded in the things that I do, stick to the basics. What I've been taught, and just do what I've been practicing. Zakir, he's going into a fight that he's never, win against a guy like me. Much respect to still Cooper Housley, Bryce Jones and all those guys, DTP, of course, but they don't swing like I do, bro. So it's just his chin will get tested, and you will see that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to take away anything from, Darius or, the Bell.
hmm
But I mean, how much have you beat yourself in the last recent time here?
Man, I beat myself a lot, man. It's just and I hate to come up with excuses because that's not me, but I just look at the cold hard facts. When I went against Damian DeBell, if you look at my fight, bro, I was standing so straight up in a fight in my defense, and I normally just don't do that. If you look at the Iowa fight in my previous fight, even with Aaron Turner, I have more of a crouch to me, and it's just a different stance. And I corrected that, and I did that with Darius, and I was able to yeah, I got knocked down, but I was able to be a little bit more successful as far as my defense. I feel like so that and then with the Damian DeBell, it was more so my defense I needed to correct. And then when I went against, Darius, again, I beat myself. I missed his head, I feel like twice. That first hit, I won the coin toss, I missed his head. I beat myself essentially. So I feel like I could if I'm given the opportunity to run that back, I'd love to give that back with Darius because I know I can for sure win that. Again, I beat myself, but I'm not gonna take too much, of me bashing myself. Darius, he did knock me down. He hit me in that target, that sweet spot, and he got me, man. So much respect to him. I'd love to run that back with him. I know the outcome would definitely be different. But yeah, it's been a struggle for me, bro. Like I've beaten myself, and it's just that's part of learning in the sport, bro. You're in power slap. The more you get up on that stage, the more experience you get, the better. So you just learn from your previous matches and you try to apply it and do better on the next one. So yeah, I could honestly say I've beaten myself a lot. But come March 6th, you will see a better, more improved, better version of West the Boom Mena.
Yeah. And if we see that better and improved version, you are victorious. Where do you think that puts you, in your career trajectory?
So I handle business March 6th. I hate to look past that date, but when I get that victory, it puts me in a good spot, where I want to be at. I talked to you about that before. I want Pono Paul. I want him. He's my next guy. I know Ding, you might have, oh, I don't want to see that anymore. Well, hey, we're about to spark that fire back up
You're
once I get this
convincing me.
victory.
You're
We're
convincing
about
me,
to
and it's
spark that
crazy.
fire back
You
up.
said
Yeah.
his name, and he appeared in chat. I'm
Yeah,
dead
good,
serious.
good. I don't see the chat. I don't care what they're saying. Of course he's gonna talk shit. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna handle business March 6th. I'm gonna get that knockout, and you will hear it from me first. I will call out Pono Paul in front of everybody. I will drop a fucking WWE promo if I have to. I don't give a fuck. I will no, I will call him out. I'm gonna get this excited. I feel like this has the potential of being the best non-title matchup in Power Slap history. It's just two guys going at it, alpha male guys, and you will see that, man. So I had a talk with Frank. Sometime this year it will happen. It's just a matter of me taking care of business and making it make sense. I'm gonna knock out Zakir. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call out Pono, and we gonna get this done. Sign, sealing, delivered. I want him in Florida. Whether if I can't get it in Florida, give me Texas. I'll do it in Texas. I don't want to be in another country. I don't want to be in Vegas. I want it somewhere in the South. You know, that I have a feeling we can sell out, and then that will be something that everybody wants to see. And I feel like that will have a big major. The coin toss will be a major big deal in that fight. It's gonna be from the minute we sign that contract to the minute we're in the back getting ready for face-offs, you will see fireworks in that matchup. I don't want to toot my horn and look too much ahead, but that's what everybody wants to see, and I will handle business so I can put myself in that position. It's no secret, I want that. I come out with that victory. We'll see what happens after that. But I will get my rematch against Damien DeBell at least by the end of this year. I have a plan. So I just one thing at a time. I got to check off all these boxes that I have, and one thing at a time.
Awesome. Love it. Um, Dig, you want to add anything to that before I ask one last question?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I all things point to Darius being the next guy for Damien DeBell. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
not. There's no date on that. It's not a guarantee, but it just seems like with all the moves that have been made, his move in the rankings, right? Obviously,
Mhm.
you being the last guy for him to defeat, that's obviously something that's worthy of getting a championship opportunity.
Mhm.
Who do you have in that, man? Who do you think? What do you think Darius has what it takes to beat Damien DeBell?
As much as I hate Damien DeBell, because he's such a freaking, oh my god, I can't take too much away from Damien because he's a dominant champion. I will give him that respect, and I said that before. I will give him that respect. He's got my respect, bro. He's a dominant champion. It's just I don't see eye to eye. How do you have four title defenses and you only have 5K followers? You should be the superstar of this sport. I could see Isaiah Quiones. He's honestly, I feel like between him and Ellie Dempster or Paige, they're like the face of this sport. He should be the face of this sport. You have four title defenses and you only have 5K followers, bro. What are you doing? You should be marketing. You should be blowing up this sport. I should see you in the UFC fights, but he's not doing anything, and that just kills me. But again, I don't, I'm not going to take the aspect. He is a dominant champion. Darius, I gotta give respect to Darius because he's also a legend in the sport. He's had what over 17, 18 total fights. He does have experience. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But I feel like Darius is not the one to beat Damien DeBell. He's not the one. Um, Darius, again, I respect him a lot, but I don't think he's gonna be the one to dethrone the champ. Um, and that's what I got to say about that. Why? Is because I it's just that swing Damien got, man. That shit is different. Um, he's so accurate. I'm not gonna say he's strong per se. It's just that speed, that velocity, that whiplash he got. And he's so accurate. You know. As much as I hate Damien DeBell, I'm writing this cocktail right now. And I hate it. I'm gonna put my pride to the side. But just Damien DeBell has that different strike, bro, and you got to be somebody built different mentally, physically, and you got to have experience. So I feel like right now, Darius, as much as I love Darius, very respectful guy, I don't think he's gonna be the one to beat Damien. It's gonna be somebody. It's gonna take somebody else, and we need guys to really get that experience under their belt before they just jump into a match with Damien. I feel like Damien, he's the type of guy that you need to have that experience because you can't just jump in there with a title shot. You will get exposed, and obviously enough, that was me. I got exposed. I hate seeing that. When he's talking shit, he reminds me of the videos that I see. I'm getting slapped up, knocked out, and it just fuels the fire. Like again, by the end of this year, I'm gonna get that rematch, handle business, one fight at a time. Zakir, Pono, then hopefully Damien DeBell. If that answers your question.
That absolutely answers my question. You have your own road to the title built out. I love it. I am
Yeah.
curious though. You used the word hate with Damian DeBell. I don't know that there's a lot of people who would share
I,
that. Go ahead, Corey. Don't
I
let
was
me.
gonna say, I thought you were gonna go the other way. I thought you were gonna talk about his sexuality. You almost said that F word associated. That's where I thought you were
Oh
going.
shit.
But
Yeah.
you can't see the chat, but the chat is going insane. They have a
Yeah.
road to the title for you very, very differently. So
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. A lot of Twitter fingers over there. A lot of guys that just they fan out when they see me. They're not gonna say none of that shit to my face, and then most of them probably don't even have matches.
yeah,
So
there's facts. I gotta ask you though, man. You or Sheena, who'd win? Come on. If
in
it
a
was
what?
you and
You
Sheena,
versus Cena.
Me
What a
versus Sheena?
question.
Oh man, Sheena would definitely win.
you ain't no shame in that. What do you?
I don't want no smoke with Sheena. In a slap fight, she got it. In a real fight, she got it. Sheena. I spent some time with her in Abu Dhabi, man. She's dope. I have nothing bad to say about her. She's awesome.
Yeah,
What's
dig that now. That's going
uh,
on social.
I can't see what they're saying on the chat, so please
no, no.
inform me what they're saying.
What I don't know that you want to hear any of this stuff. It's not nice stuff. But
Oh, okay.
the what's more personal, Damien DeBell or Pono?
Pono.
Yeah,
I can't stand that.
because of the friendship or the former friendship. Is that why?
I mean, he's just a fake ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking fuck with him. He's just a guy that knows how to put words together and fucking mind fuck everybody. It's just, he's a fucking phony. He's a fake. He's a fraud. I don't fucking like him. If I see him in a fucking person, I'll spit in his face. He better hope I don't see him in fucking Vegas. But I'm gonna be professional. I'm gonna try to be professional. I'm gonna try to. I got a match. Again, I have Zakir. I'm picturing Pono's head on Zakir, and you will see how I feel when I fight Zakir. In regards to Pono, yeah, Pono's a fake ass bitch. I don't fuck with him. He's fake. He's phony. And people come to me, Wes. I see what you're saying about Pono. Yeah, you are absolutely right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's fake. He's a fraud. All that. You know, Putting words together to fucking, make him sound and look good and shit. You're a fucking fake, bro. And I see right through you and you're a bitch. So I hate to get out of character
Yeah, I
like
was
that,
gonna say
guys. I'm
I saw
sorry.
I
That's
saw
gonna
your
round me
aura
up.
change. I apologize, but
Nah.
one favor if I could, if you're gonna
Hmm.
call Pono out, come fight night March 6th. If he's there, you gotta find him in the crowd and you gotta talk
Oh,
direct. You gotta look
absolutely.
dead at him on the stage with Charlie with the mic. And you gotta tell him what you want to say because they're gonna put the camera on him and you have the opportunity, my friend, to make a very very big moment for yourself on the
Hmm.
live Powerside broadcast. You gotta find him. You gotta be like, where's Pono's bitch ass at? I'm not saying Pono's a bitch ass because I don't want no trouble with
No,
nobody.
it's okay. He
I'm
is though. He
assuming
is.
I'm assuming that that's what Wes wants to say. So please, Pono, I know you're in chat. Don't come thinking that I'm calling you a bitch. I
No,
would
he
never
he
say
did call you a
any
bitch.
of
You're a
that.
bitch. I'll say it for you. Porno's a bitch. Um, Yeah, man. I mean, one thing at a time, Ding. I got Zakir. I'm gonna handle business, do what I gotta do. I'm like again, I'm not looking past Zakir. I'm gonna go ahead and handle what I gotta do, and then you will see a special moment after that fight for sure. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
One kind of unrelated. You posted earlier. Obviously, Game Bread Fighting Championship. Jorge Masvidal's promotion is going to, I
Dr.
believe, Santo Domingo. I don't
Yes,
remember. I know
sir.
it's Dominican Republic for sure.
Yeah.
I guess it is Santo Domingo. But For you, like, what would be the dream if Frank was like, man, Wes, like, where would your dream be to compete, whatever city, state, country? Would it be representing in Dominican Republic? Would it be Atlanta? Like, what would that look like for you?
Yeah, you said it yourself. It would be Dominican Republic. I love that. Or Atlanta. Atlanta again. It's Black Hollywood out here. You have all the rappers. Your guys' favorite rappers live out here. A lot of these guys are. They love the sport. I put them onto it. A lot of these people follow me. They are tuned in. I'd love to bring it out here to Atlanta. I think that would be a phenomenal showing out for the UFC and the brass, the power slap and all that. If you can put that up with a UFC card, like they did here at UFC in Atlanta when they had Kamaru Usman and they invited me, put me on TV and everything, that would be a phenomenal showing. There would be so many people there at that fight. People want to see knockouts, and Power Slap delivers on that. So I feel like even bringing that here in Atlanta would be such a big showing. I would love that for the city. And then, as far as Dominican Republic, yeah, I want to fucking represent. I'm originally obviously born from Boston, raised here in Atlanta, but my parents are Dominican. My dad was born there, my mom was out there. I have family still there to this day. I'm Dominican. I do speak fluent Spanish. So I love that. I love that because, and then we have, it's just a lot of Dominicans are doing their thing now. You have, Waldor Cortez, he beat Derek Lewis. He's blowing up now in the UFC, top 5 heavyweight or top 10 heavyweight now. He handles business against, Curtis Blades. From what I hear, he might get that title shot. He's Dominican. So there's a lot of things going on in the Dominican world. We're known for baseball. I feel like that would bring a lot of viewership. That's a country that would embrace the sport of power slap, and I would love that for the country. I would love to come out there with the Dominican flag and have the whole crowd chanting, Mena, you know. Yeah, so yeah, if I could pick where I would want it, Atlanta, DR, Miami, Texas. Those are like my main, spots I would love to compete at.
I'm gonna summarize it for you.
hmm
Favorite rapper slapper is one West Minna.
Rappers, I don't know about the rapping part. I am not no rapper. Let's
No,
not
no,
get that
I'm saying,
confused.
I'm saying your rapper. So like the rappers from Atlanta,
Oh, okay.
their favorite slapper is you.
Oh, it's for
So
sure, for
okay,
sure.
so Wes is your favorite rapper slapper.
Yes.
There
Okay,
you go.
Yeah.
tracking now.
There you go. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. Now, one last one for me, a little bit more serious. I kind of talked about it earlier. You be of anybody would know better than this.
Okay.
Is it crazy why losing all this weight?
Mhm.
Is there a higher propensity of him stepping on his first strike, losing all that weight and not being prepared for the momentum that is going to come when he delivers his strike?
Honestly, I'm not even worried that he's gonna step. It's more of so that now that he lost his weight, it's more of so okay. I know he's gonna still have that power. He probably did lose a lot of weight, but you're slapping. You still have that power. With me, my whole big thing is that his slap is going to get even more lethal, I feel like, because he has more of a torque. He can actually rotate his hips and generate more power. So I feel like he's going to have a more deadlier swing. I feel like he knows the sport, well enough to not foul, not commit those steps, you know. I've seen before in the past that he's maybe clubbed or they might have caught him for flitching, stuff like that. But I don't think he's gonna have no stepping, issues. I don't think that's gonna happen. My whole thing is just making sure is that he just comes with that whole package. You have experience, you lost that weight, so you can rotate a lot more. So by him rotating a lot more, he can generate, I feel like, a more powerful slap. So that whiplash should be a lot more cleaner, smoother, just as powerful as when he was 400 pounds. So, and my whole thing is, as long as he's been working out and put on the right proper muscle, and we've talked before, I told him, hey, when you lose all that weight, you need to be working out. I told him that straight to his face. You need to be working out. You cannot slack because you will lose more and more weight if you don't freaking stick to that diet, stick to eating. You need to eat, but I thought he was gonna come at heavyweight, but unfortunately he had that little car incident, or motorcycle incident, and he lost even more weight. So with the Crazy Hawaiian, my whole thing is just making sure you put on the proper weight, you make sure you're working out, and you're just doing what you do. You're an experienced legend in the sport. You should be able to know what to do. I told him what you need to do: put on the weight, make sure you're working out. I feel like his strike will be even more lethal. So it's up to him. It's in his corner. I feel like, without giving too much away, I mean, it's gonna be a good match because Wolverine, he's no freaking pushover, bro. I was in the same locker room with him when I was in Abu Dhabi. Them slaps in person is fucking crazy. Wolverine is not your typical fucking light heavyweight. He has some power too. So I'm definitely gonna be tuned in for that match. I can't wait to see that main event. Yeah, man.
For sure. Like I said, man, I think if they let you come out to your own custom shirts, or I guess they do on weigh-in day, I think it's got to be West Mena versus the world. The way this chat's going.
Oh man, I love it. I mean, hey, I don't care because none of those guys gonna say it to my face. They're just fucking Twitter warriors, fucking internet guys.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't care. Keep my name in their mouth. Keep giving me free promo. I love it.
Awesome, Wes. Appreciate you, man. As always, we'll see you there in Las Vegas.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Take care, man.
Yep.
All right. One Wes Minna facing Zakir coming up. Power Slam number 18. March 6th. Going to be a doozy of a match. I think that one's starting the main card off, correct?
Yeah, I'm almost positive it is.
All right. Fifth fight of the actual taped event taking
It
place.
is. It is kicking off the main card.
It's gonna be a good match. Like I said, both these athletes. I know I talked about during the interview side of it. Didn't want to ask them again about it, but both these athletes have had to reinvent their slaps as it related to some of the rule changes that took place. Last time we seen Zakir, he was victorious, but still didn't look fully comfortable with his new slap. Kind of resorted back to some kind of semi, semi slap of what he used to do, cleaned up a bit. So we're going to see if having some time away here and being able to practice it, if it's going to be able to, be more well rounded for him. But we're going to see Wes put in the work and see if he's going to be able to get that monkey off his back. He's on a two fight losing streak. Gonna look to get back in the win column here come March 6th.
Yeah, I mean, Zakir. I'm gonna try to do this off the top of my head. It's gonna be tough. So West beat Aaron, lost to Bell, lost to Darius. Zakir. Zakir beat. Um, he fought Trolls, but he had a second match. Who did he fight in the second match?
He lost to Bryce by DQ.
Yeah, but he.
Cooper, like controversial. Well, I would say controversial. And
So it's Trolls. So Trolls was his debut. So last year, so he had Trolls. So I'm not gonna count that one. But Bryce he lost to technically. Cooper he beat and Dorian he lost to. So they're actually this. They have the same record in their last same amount of fights. So in their last three fights, they're both 1-2. One win, two losses.
so that's actually his fifth fight then. This will
His
be
fifth fight total. It's his fifth fight total.
almost in a year.
Almost, yeah, because
Year,
January 20,
month ahead.
January 30th, 2025, that was his debut.
Crazy. Very, very active for sure.
But then he has the break between January and July or June, and then he just from June he just fucking takes off. That's why when I was talking to Wes, I was like, oh shit, like this guy's actually very active. Like,
But I mean, 3 matches, he had 4 rounds.
yeah.
to start
Whereas
his
for Wes, it was 3 rounds, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, so 8 rounds in 3 matches. So uh, very interesting, man, for sure. And I think I'm actually surprised he still got the energy for the Pono thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, like he's selling me on it. If that's the energy that's going to be brought forth, like he said, obviously not looking past what he's got going on March 6th, but if that's the kind of energy that's going to be brought forth, I'm sure Pono will have energy of his own that'll be brought forth, and I think you can reinvigorate that interest.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'll I'll say this with now that hopefully Wes is checking us out on either the replay or now in the chat after he exited. I think there's no better place to promote a match like that than right here on Slap News. Do a virtual face off. I'd let these guys say their piece and talk
Yeah.
their shit. And
Maybe it
I'm
happens at
interested.
the maybe it happens at the tailgate party. Who knows, man?
No. I'm not playing security, man. No way. I don't want those guys anywhere near each other if they're in Vegas at the same time.
This guy's funny, man. Honestly, dude, I am sick as shit right now. I don't even know how I'm doing this show. Just definitely popping the laws and just struggling through, my man. But I appreciate you tuning in. Much love.
The Yeah, so I think ultimately there's some interesting stuff to come in the heavyweight division. I'm actually surprised to hear that West feels so strongly about Damian Dibbell. I know obviously they've had their barbs back and forth on social, but I can definitely appreciate that he was fair. And although he does not seem to be a huge fan of Dibbell, he was giving him his respect as the reigning champion. But Dibbell, I gotta tell you, man, you're in here doing all this stuff, right? Put the house on Zakir. You're in the chat saying all this stuff. I gotta ask you, man. You gotta respond to what Wes said, man. He called you out on your followers. Said you should be the face of the sport. You got to take that seriously, man. I mean, somebody says something like that to you. You ought to be coming up with something, as because it's kind of respectful because he says you should be the face of the sport in the sense that you have the accomplishments and the accolades and the stature to be. But then there's the second part of it, which is that you don't have what he would consider to be a lot of followers, and so you're kind of missing the mark. What do you have to say to that? I'm interested. Maybe next week on Smack Talk, you want to come and answer the question. Or I know you're a creative guy. Maybe you log onto your Instagram and you make a funny reel or something. I would imagine it would include your history with him and your match with him. And maybe you respond that way. But nevertheless, Damien DeBell, if I'm being honest with you, man, as your friend, I think you got to respond to that.
But what do you say to this? So West calls the bell out and says he only has 5,000 followers and he should be the face of Power Slap. How do you respond to that?
How do you respond to it if you're Damien DeBell?
You what do you think of that comment? Is it a fair comment?
Is it a fair? Wow, you put me on the spot, huh? Oh fuck, you're feeling sick, so I got to get the hot seat. Okay, all right. I, I would say I would say for Damien DeBell being as dominant as he is, I'd like for him to be a bigger star for sure. I'd like for him to be in. I'd say I'd like for him to be in the Isaiah Quinones world as far as social media engagement and the way fans interact with him. Um, Unfortunately, though, I think that's also kind of a miss on the promotion because you should help. Like these guys don't wake up one day. He didn't slap an SFC at the age of 19 years old to be like, man, I'm gonna become the social media sensation overnight. There was no foresight that Power Slap was gonna exist, and as it kind of existed, he's one of those guys that's focused on just being great at this, and it's not really they haven't really been coached along on how to make that happen. Some guys have been, lucky and they've had both. You look at a guy like Wolverine who really doesn't have much of a social media presence, but is also very dominant and has a lot of deep rooted history in this whole thing. I think the same could probably be said for him. He does have slightly more followers, um, but I think that's because he's been doing this longer, and so he's a little bit more recognizable. But I would love to see Damien DeBell. I think he's funny. I think a lot of the content he makes is amusing. If you've ever sat down and met him and talked to him as he's wearing his black Nike Air Forces that look like they could use a refresh, he is very funny. He does roast people and has some pretty funny jokes. So I think he could be the guy, but I think you see it in the UFC where you have these guys who are just really good and they focus on being really good, but they're not big stars. It's
Yeah.
tough because it's either who you are or it's not. In the case of David DeBell, I actually think he has it.
Yeah.
He's got to figure out how to apply that to social media and get people interested in what he's doing. But when he talks and he does do things, they're funny. I'm not gonna lie, his stuff's engaging. So I'd like that for him. I don't know if I don't know if I'd use it or say it in the negative sense the same way West did, because I do think the promotion has a hand in that. Like again, he came here to be the best slap fighter in the world and be a dominant champion, not necessarily to be an influencer per se.
Yeah.
I think that he can kind of play both roles, right? As a top tier athlete in the sport that's being legitimized, so to speak. but somebody's got to help them make that transition, just like they do for the UFC fighters, right? The guys that are on their way. I mean, Alex Pereira doesn't really speak English. He says shama and beats people up and gets tons of love from people all over the world. So if he can do it, I think anybody can do it, really. But you got to help him out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like you said, David Dibbell is a funny guy. Definitely has the personality to do it. I think location is part of it, just system understanding, and I don't know how much he actually cares. To be completely honest, I think he's more, more enamored by cash and paychecks and paying for law school than being the celebrity side of it. Um, but location is everything. If you're Las Vegas, Miami, Cali, it's a lot easier to make content and roll in those circles and have it more socially acceptable and everything else. Right now, he's up in Buffalo, New York, with 5 feet of snow and not as much camaraderie with others to collab and socialize. So definitely not any onus upon him. And I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see a day where Power Slap trains these athletes to any particular sense or puts, a lot of dollars behind them to build and tell those stories. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do. Maybe we'll see the embedded like we see with UFC, etc. But it just doesn't seem to be at that point yet where we're getting into those in-depth details. Oh, what's going on, buddy? You
I don't
muted?
know. I don't know. That was weird. My mute button was not cooperating. Man, Chad's on fire tonight. You guys are nice. Father Frank.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some people would call Frank dad. And then what looks like the CTE King.
I
All
think you're
right.
giving, I
All
think
right.
you're giving away yourself, buddy.
No, I'm looking at. I'm like, I was trying to put it together because it's all. It's just one word. So
Yeah.
I was like, tech king, and I was like, nah, a little wittier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a very anti Westmena crowd for sure
Yeah. Yeah.
tonight. You guys are feisty, but nevertheless, great show. Great to talk to Wolverine. Of course, get Westmena's thoughts on what's happening with this social media promotion of Zakir and his unusual activities. Of course, no disrespect intended. He's a grown man and can do what he like. Um, you know, getting Ron's perspective on what's going on, and he's not, on the butt end of it is interesting. And then, of course, what seems to be the reignition of Pono Paul Westmena, their illustrious rivalry. We're getting there. I think we still got some work to do before I'm like fully in again. Not that it fucking matters, right? But I just felt like we missed the boat. It was nothing against either guy. I thought that to be honest with you, the promotion kind of was telling us to give it a rest, anyways. So um, they can get me back though. Um, there's definitely not it's not out of the realm of possibilities. But you guys are nutty in chat tonight, so thanks for checking us out, checking in with us. Corey, I appreciate you being a trooper, even though you tried to just put me on the spot there with your illness. What do you got, man? What are we thinking? COVID, herpes, like what's it looking like?
No, dude. Just worn down, man. Worked at a trade show for 40 plus hours this weekend, so just long
Yeah,
day.
but working 40 hours ain't giving you a cough. Like something's obviously wrong. What are we
Dude, I
dealing with?
probably like shook like 200 people's hands, man.
Oh,
And
fuck, that's gross.
so you know what I mean?
You're like taking hands. You're like,
Whatever, man. I don't know, dude. Yeah.
all
Can't
right,
go
well,
to
awesome.
Lizzie's though. I leave those Nathan's
There you
feet.
go. Yeah, yep, for sure. The illustrious photo of Big G's going like this. Ryan Phillips has both sides of his mouth. Um, but all right, man. I guess we'll be here again, same time, same place next week, 6 p.m. on the west, 9 p.m. on the east. If you're a cool cat like us,
Yeah.
man, 2 weeks away from Power Stop 18 feels crazy to say that. Lots of rumors swirling. I don't know that any of them need any attention at the moment. They're rumors for now. Um, I know there's some talk about Vern White and the Crazy Hawaiian, and we'll get clarity on what's happening there and if that's the case. Um, and we'll put that out, but I don't think we're ready to talk about that at this moment. We don't really know enough about the what's actually happening for that, but it is something that I've seen on Vern White's page. So we'll get their side of the story and figure out what's happening there if
Uh,
that changes anything. And
it's been quiet though. The Abby Montez front. Like, what happened there? I felt like there was some steam.
I think Sheena happened. Honestly, I don't think Sheena wants to compete in Power Slap until middle of the year at best. In my opinion, I've never thought this before until you just brought up Abby, and now you hear it. I would love to see Abby Sheena as Sturgis. I think a lot of motorcyclists would love to see women that are powerful slapping each other in the what do they call that area? South Dakota. What is it, like the Black Mountains or something? Or so there's some cool name for it or something.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
yeah, I
it's like
missed.
I'm pretty sure like I South Dakota's pretty flat, dude. I'm pretty sure it's
So what's it? It's there's something. Let's
like
see. What's
Mount
the
Rushmore
nickname?
is not too far away from it, but
South
I'm not sure.
Dakota nickname.
But yeah, man, I think it's a lot happening, man. I think it's good. It's good in a lot of ways, and I don't know. I know we haven't talked about it, but definitely seems like WrestleMania, or talk about that as well. So maybe in the future weeks
Got to
we'll.
take credit for that. If it happens, we got to take credit because
You were
we told them,
just a year
hey,
early, Dwayne. You were a year early. That's all.
don't fumble the bag twice in a row. If they do a WrestleMania card, it will be incredible, and it has to be spectacular. Meaning there has to be some, signed, sealed stamp of approval on it. It can't just be, a title fight, a co-main event. Like it's got to be, you know, debuting championships, big names, multiple belts. Like you can't just do that like you're gonna do any other card, because it's your showcase moment. WrestleMania is also known as the battle or the showcase of the immortals. You gotta match that energy, especially because you are. I mean, usually Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, is that Friday night. So you may actually not see an event. That you may see an event at an off time because of the Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Not that it matters, but Hall of Fame last year was at Fontainebleau. So that will be a problem. There's no chance in hell they'll do two massive events like that at Fontainebleau at the same time. There's no way. Um,
Yeah, but the deal's gonna be up with Fontainebleau.
oh, that's a good point. You know what? So yeah, go. I'll just go fuck myself then. Yeah, on that one, I got nothing. But listen, WrestleMania weekend is massive. You need to put all the wrestlers on the card, as many as you can. The Hollywoods, the Juicies, the
The Manus? You counting him as
McKinney
a wrestler?
Manu. I mean, McKinney Manu is he's a wrestler. Like as much as I want him to be a wrestler, he's not really a wrestler. Like it was a really small stint of his life. It's not massive. I don't know that anybody in the indie scene knows who he is. I think McKinney Manu's got a great segment carved out for himself in Power Stop. He's one of those guys that just has figured out social media. Actually,
Gotta get Johnny Magna back up there.
Johnny Magna's a perfect one. Even Chelsea, I'd say, now that she's doing the thing with God, I don't want to fuck it up. Duke City, I
Okay.
believe. Um, she's done that enough times. I think that I'd qualify her as a professional wrestler. Jump, get her up in there. You could bring back Big Al, Alice Crowley. There's some wrestlers you guys haven't even seen yet. Danny Moe's one that was at a combine. There's a lot of those folks. Lance Anoa'i is another one that'll do appearances
Did
that
you see
week.
Lance?
Lance will do appearances in Vegas that week, 1,000,000%. So it would be silly for Power Slap not to. Um, I don't know, but it doesn't make sense to me to do undercard athletes who are not going to compete. So, actually, hear me out. Here we go. Clip. You ready? That would be the perfect card to debut the early prelims on the live broadcast, because it doesn't make sense to have athletes who are competing for the first time on the early prelims and nobody be able to see it. Because if you have wrestlers stacking that bottom of the card, that taped or dark period, you need to allow people who are there locally for wrestling to enjoy that spectacle. Otherwise, you're kind of missing out. So Frank, Sin, Justin, whoever, I can get my voice to consider early prelims being live broadcast debut for more than 8 fights, and allowing fans to. You know what? If you don't want to allow fans, I'm okay with that. If you don't want to let people in the venue for those early prelims to keep the environment controlled, I'm okay with that. But at least broadcast it, because again, people are there. The atmosphere is built around wrestling. If you're gonna have names like Lance Anoa'i, Danny Moe, Facade is another one that's there. Martin Casals, Zicky Dice. Why not? Why not?
Do they
I think
do
it makes sense. Jordan Oasis would be another a great one to put up there.
do they do a UFCX style convention as part of WrestleMania? You know?
They do, but it's not. So they do the WWE experience, which is probably the closest to the UFCX, But in addition to that, so what's unusual about it is so International Fight Week is very UFC heavy in Vegas. When it comes to WrestleMania, there's so indie is such a big part of the wrestling ecosystem that they do conventions that only include people who are not in the major promotions. So, your retirees, your legends, people who are on very, very, minimalistic deals with the promotions they formerly served. Those are going to be your Dudley Boys, your Hardy Boys, your Sin Bodhi would be a great example. Your former WWE superstars that are no longer under contract exclusively, that aren't active talent competing, they'll compete. They'll do appearances and signings and whatever photos and autographs and all that stuff in what they call WrestleCon is one that I know that they'll have. They may have other different events. So where the WWE experience is not, you will find wrestling. It just won't be your majors, so to speak. So
Yeah.
plenty of events, and that's why I think consider making it a live broadcast for the early prelims and stack it up with wrestlers, even if it's their first time.
The reason why I say that, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but I believe it was Nate Bernard and Stevie Ray. They did one match as part of the UFC, the weigh-in show or media day during International Fight Week. They had that one event, and this was very early on, at the Apex days. But could you do those tape fights at the UFC experience?
At the UFC experience for International Fight Week, or are you talking about WWE experience?
For WWE for WrestleMania. So what I'm saying is, do you remember the Nate Bernard? Nate Bernard fought Stevie Ray.
I remember that. That was Power
Uh,
Slap 3.
Correct. And it was at the Apex, but it was in the morning on the Friday, which would have been immediately following the official weigh-ins. They had all the media, and the broadcast went from the Apex. They do it on the side, kind of the entrance point where the VIP, meals, etc. were, and they curated all of those people into the main area where the Power Slap stage was set up to give them a first-hand look at the sport of Power Slap.
Very okay. I think I'm tracking.
I'm just saying, could we do something? Could you do something with those tape fights? Put it in front of the live audience at the UFC experience. And create
WWE experience, but
yeah,
same. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities because for those of you who don't know, hopefully I'm not breaking any news here, but Power Slap
as wrestlers in.
13, yeah, that too. I I want to say 13, but maybe 15 was actually broadcast on WWE's official YouTube channel. So although they're not part of TKO, meaning Power Slap is not technically under that umbrella, I think some stuff can be worked out. I think some stuff can be worked out. So I like it. I like the idea. Um, I'd like it even more if you take get rid of the stage. Fuck the stage. Just do it in the fucking where people line up. Just fucking have security come and just start moving people. Fucking set them up right there. Have Mark Smith come wheel in on his wheelchair. You know what I mean? Have him do the Stone Cold music, break the glass, and then fucking All right, we're getting along in the tooth. Next week, Wednesday, as always, we'll be here. That will be our last episode before fight week, which it feels like it's been a long time, but very, very exciting stuff. 6 p.m. if you are on the West Coast, 9 p.m. if you're on the East, somewhere in the middle if you are somewhere in the middle. We look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you so much. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Feel free to clip if you want to roast Corey, myself, both. You like what we said, we mentioned your name. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Your boys are back, and we're doing it the only way we know how. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with us, Knuckleheads, for an hour and 38 minutes and 53 seconds and counting.